In Digimon's 26 years as a franchise, there have been many highs and lows, as well as various quiet times where both franchise and fandom almost seem non-existent. One of the hardest times to be a Digimon fan was probably in the space between Cross Wars and Digimon Tri. In those few years, there were barely any signs of news or life from the franchise, and even the fandom itself was fairly dormant. It was a hard time to be a fan without just rewatching the series, and there wasn't much in terms of community going on either. It seemed well and truly dead. Whether you loved it, hated it, or thought it was just okay, the announcement and the subsequent release of each Tri movie truly returned life to the franchise. The lead up to the initial Tri movie was exciting as fans seemed to begin returning to the franchise. From there, and since then, Digimon has continued to ramp up the releases, which of course brings us to now, which, as far as I can see, is honestly the best time to be a Digimon fan. While we have no current series of the Digimon anime airing, there's still plenty more from the franchise to keep fans occupied. In the anime world, there's an upcoming movie which takes place a few years after the events of Tri's sequel, Kazuna, but focuses on the lives of the characters of Digimon Adventure 02, rather than the original 1999 Digimon Adventure. But looking away from the anime, however, there are many upcoming and recent releases. Currently releasing weekly for free and in English on Digimon.net is the web novel Digimon Seekers, which is aimed at older fans and is set in a future similar to the Cyber Sleuth game, where hackers use tools called Digimon to do tasks, jobs, and of course, commit crime. While the series was off to a rocky start with a patchy official English translation, Chapter 2 has improved substantially, which is honestly a promising look for the series. In addition, and also available for free and, importantly, in English on Digimon.net, is the comedy manga Digimon Dreamers, which previously released monthly in Psycho Jump until it moved online after Chapter 21. The series is currently releasing weekly as it catches up, and once up to date, the series will continue online, with Digimon.net being its new home. Prior to Digimon Adventure Tri's initial release, it was often unlikely that a Digimon release would release in English, yet alone internationally like Seekers and Dreamers, especially in the case of manga, but also, for a fairly long time, the video games, which nowadays have seen wider international and multi-platform releases. While there's no firm release date, there is an upcoming untitled Digimon story game in the works that we have heard bits and pieces about. Again, there's no release date, but we do know that it is coming at some point. Whether or not it's going to be the same sequel as Cyber Sleuth is completely up in the air, or for that matter, any of the other story games from their respective universes. We just know that it will have the Olympus Digimon, and it will be a story game, so RPG in its genre. So that is something exciting, and that it is upcoming, but again, no solid release date, just in the works. In terms of the franchise's roots, that being virtual pets, we have various releases. The Digimon Color, which is the first color-screened traditional virtual pet from the franchise and is based off the original Digimon virtual pet, but has various pieces of added functionality, such as Mega-level Digimon, CPU battles, and backgrounds. So that is something that's exciting, especially because it's going back to the roots of the Digimon franchise, that being virtual pets, and having the original virtual pets kind of given a modern view and having them have colour screens and additional functionality is exciting. And then, of course, we have the Digimon Vital Bracelet, which is more of a cross between a virtual pet and a gamified fitness toy. It has various ties in, not just to various aspects of the franchise, like the anime or Digimon Seekers, but also ties into other properties such as Kamen Rider, My Hero Academia, and Demon Slayer. So the Vital Bracelet, if you've watched any of my videos before, is something that I'm a huge fan of. I love gamified fitness, And while I do absolutely adore virtual pets, I find that the Vital Bracelet is a little bit less high maintenance than a traditional virtual pet. I can just have it on my wrist and I don't have to check on it multiple times during the day if I've got a busy day on or what have you, and I can just put it to the side. It's fairly easy just to put down and not have the Digimon die in any way. So that is something that I really love about the franchise, and there are so many Vital Bracelet releases, both that have already been out, that are coming out, and that I'm sure will be coming out at some point and will be announced. So that is an aspect of the franchise that, again, I'm a huge fan of. So I do recommend the Vital Bracelet. And of course, in addition to all of these, we have various lines of figures and miscellaneous toys. My personal favourite being the model kits, which essentially release every few months, and they're not just Digimon Adventure, they're mainly Digimon Adventure Digimon, but they have had Digimon from various parts of the franchise, not just various Omegamon and Wargreymon and Metal Greymon figures. We've most recently, as of recording this, had Shine Greymon, which of course is from Digimon Savers. So the model kit series is also something pretty cool if you're into building model kits, or just if you're into really cool looking figures that aren't too pricey. And of course, a big one is the Digimon TCG, which, while I don't really play the card game much, it appears to not only be popular enough for Bandai to hold multiple events across the world, but also to spawn more Digitubers into existence than the Digimon anime. Again, I don't play the card game, I just collect the cards. I just think they look nice, but the card game is a huge one for the franchise. Bandai seems to be putting a lot of time and effort into maintaining the TCG. A lot of people seem to love it, so there is, of course, the TCG. And the TCG itself references different parts of the franchise. We've got characters from the anime, from video games, and from manga as well. So it seems to really be putting together various aspects of the franchise from those different areas of the whole Digimon franchise. So definitely the TCG is something to check out, especially if you're looking into Digimon or collecting things or just a general sense of community, because again, there are a lot of people that do love the card game and do play the card game, and it is fairly popular. And then overall, taking all of these current and upcoming releases into account shows that the franchise isn't just alive and well, but this is probably the best time to be a Digimon fan, and the future looks just so bright for the franchise and of course for the fans. Every so often, especially in between anime releases, we get a part of the fandom who just says, hey, Digimon's dead now because there's no anime coming out. And that has happened for years, especially after Cross Wars, which again, it seemed that was likely the case. But now, it being the future past Ghost game, then while there's no anime TV series coming out, it definitely feels like there's a lot that's coming out for the franchise, just not in the realm of the anime. I think a lot of people were spoiled by the fact that Colon aired, and then the next week after Colon finished, we immediately had the premiere of Ghost Game. A lot of people, I think, were spoiled by that. Typically, we have had large gaps in between each anime series. I feel like the only time we've had an anime series air 1 week after each other is probably with Adventure and 02. Otherwise, it's been a few years between each series of the anime. So I don't think the whole franchise isn't dead just because the anime isn't coming out at the moment. Maybe they're working on something. Maybe they're not. Who knows? But in any case, there's other aspects to the franchise other than the anime. In addition to this, there's also the 02 movie coming out. I can see that they wouldn't want to hype up an anime series while they're still trying to hype up the anime movie. But in any case, those are my thoughts. Let me know your comments, questions, etc., in the comments section below. Like this video, and of course, subscribe if you haven't already. If you have subscribed, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, and of course, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!